Sorry, I'm such a jerk. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. Hi, hello, my name is Loey, and
I'm Andrew.
TMI.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So today I'm here with one of my best friends in the entire world, Andrew. I'm not gonna touch him because I'm literally so sick right now. You've been complaining about this all day, but we literally slept in the same bed last night.
I know.
I'm going to get you so sick.
It's my fault.
So Andrew asked me to come to Long Island after I was done at New York Fashion Week because it's like what, like a quick little train ride away. And so I came, and it was only because, well, because I love him, but also because he's been promising to take me to one of the abandoned mental hospitals in this area. For some reason, there's multiple, number one.
There's quite a few, and they're very old, and they were abandoned like years ago.
And they all have histories, like insane histories. So there was Kings Park, which was a drive, but also we went to Pilgrim State. So we haven't been to Kings Park. If you guys get this video, should we say like 10,000 likes?
I mean,
10,000 likes is a lot, but I feel like they can do it.
Okay, and I mean, it's a lot for us to do.
In this video, we are going to go into Pilgrim State, and we only explored some of the outer like buildings that we could get into, but if you guys can get this to 10,000 likes, I think we'll go inside during the day, and we'll do like a full vlog. Also, there are gonna be bits and pieces of our adventure in this video, but if you want to see the full vlog, check out my vlog channel down below. Make sure to check out Andrew's channel. As always, you will love him. He's one of my best friends in the world. He's my son, he's my dad, he's my husband.
Mom.
We're in love.
That was nice. I'm in love with my mom.
The way that we treated mental illness a long time ago is of course not the way that we treat it now. We didn't understand it back in, I mean, I would even say like less than 100 years ago. We didn't know what depression even was, and that might get you like a lobotomy back in the day, or
right.
Like I remember when I was researching for this video, I found this photo of a child that was diagnosed with, what did I say it was? It was dementia. He was diagnosed with dementia. So we didn't know a lot about it back then, and we not only as a society didn't know what to do with it, but there were doctors who took very heavy advantage of these situations. So when we decided to go to Pilgrim State, number one, we drove around a little bit. So here's some of our footage, and we first like got to the hospital. So I somehow convinced these kids. Hi, hello. I look a little bit better than earlier. Hi, friends. Hi.
I am not happy about what we are doing.
We are at an institution. What is it called? Pilgrim? Oh my God, how long has this been abandoned? Look at this. That is crazy. All the windows are broken and everything. Oh my God. Yo, Andrew, slow down. Oh my. So we went around to the back of this was just one building that we went to, and I don't know too much about this, but there are still buildings that are up and running. Of course, we didn't want to disturb anyone who was at the hospital that was like still up and running, but there is a huge part of this place that is totally abandoned and has been for years. In this area, there was a train track that led to nowhere.
The train track just came to an end.
Just comes to an end, casually.
This random train track that apparently just stops down here.
Like final destination.
And like, where does it even start? Like, we didn't even see where it came from.
That's like what's creepy. There's so many mysteries about this place that you have no idea.
Outside, we found all of these little like areas that have been like caved in and stuff like that, like little tunnels we could get into. And there was even one where we thought we might be able to get up and onto the train tracks, but it was just too dangerous and it wasn't worth the risk. And
dangerous, aka scary.
AKA, I really thought something was gonna jump out of the dark and eat me. Not to mention, we heard noises the entire time, and I had a paranormal experience while we were there, but I'll get to that at the very end.
What's down there? Is that a tire?
Guys, I'm going up.
You guys are not serious.
No, you don't.
You're gonna go up?
Oh, she can get up there. I don't know if you're
What?
gonna make that. That's really steep.
Look at all the bats, how creepy. They keep flying around. We'll get to the noises. We will get to the noises.
Back in the 1920s, New York State actually had already operated 6 mental hospitals. All of them were so overcrowded, and even Kings Park, and we were reading about, and it was really only meant to house like 2,500 people. They were not large. These were not huge campuses made to hold tens of thousands of people, but they were holding tens of thousands of people, whether they were like people who may have suffered with very mild depression, kids who maybe acted out in school once or twice, or the elderly that people didn't know what to do with. Whether these are people with real problems or not, they were kind of thrown into these mental institutions to basically get rid of them.
My theory is that they were overpopulating them and just kind of packing them out so they could run more of their illegal experiments on the patients.
Pilgrim State was a huge one for this because it was made to house 12,500 1,200 people. Can you imagine in New York State, 12,500 people back in the 1920, 1930s era. At their peak, they had 16,000 people. So even they were overcrowded by like 25%. Like it was at 125% capacity.
Thousands and thousands of people who did not belong there, who were overpopulating and making the living standards like
impossible. I mean, absolute hell for the other patients. It was also like a self-sufficient sort of city. Like it was its own little town, Pilgrim State, because it had a post office, it had greenhouses, it had gardens. Greenhouses are gardens, but like it had a little bit of everything, and they could get by with literally what they had on campus. Actually, at the end of our vlog, and I'll again link it down below, little shameless plug, we went looking for the doctor's mansions because they had their own little village off campus.
Like a own little subdivision of mansions that the doctors used to live in, so they didn't even have to leave the campus. That's probably because all of like the illegal stuff that was going on, they just tried to keep it as close-knit and tight as possible. While
these patients were literally living in hell. Like they were living like kings and queens right around the corner. I'm gonna read from my phone because I had to look a lot of these up, but some of the treatments, some of the awful treatments that were used at Pilgrim State include insulin shock therapy, which is when the patient is injected with large doses of insulin when they don't need it, obviously, which causes convulsion and coma. This was introduced at Pilgrim in 1936. 1936.
I like didn't know this much like torturing was going on there, and the fact that I live so close to it is so creepy.
That's so creepy. The next one is metrazole shock therapy, which that's metrazole, or commercially known as Cartazole. I don't know what that is, but it basically induces powerful seizures. Also, electric shock therapy was used, but one of the worst is the fact that prefrontal lobotomies were introduced at Pilgrim starting in 1946, and as many as 1,000 to 2,000 lobotomies were performed there. 1,000 to 2,000 lobotomies. Oh. Now, I don't really know the difference. I know that one of the lobotomies is where, and I don't know which one of this is where you literally go into the nose with like an ice pick. Have you never heard of this? And you can like chip away at the brain.
I didn't know it was through the nose.
What is the other one though?
The other one is where they cut, okay, so basically they sever a bunch of the nerves and like whatever attaches this part of the brain to the rest of the brain, and so you're left completely like a vegetable, like emotionless. You can't do anything other than basically breathe.
That's so sad.
It said it left a lot of the patients drooling on themselves.
That's so sad.
That's all they were able to do.
So when Kings Park and another psychiatric hospital that was in the area closed down, a lot of their patients had to go to Pilgrim State Psychiatric Center, which led to heavy overcrowding, even more than already, and just worse conditions for the patients. It says here in 2011, most of the staff and doctors' private homes were demolished, and the old medical administration buildings were raised in 2012, which explains why we couldn't find them.
Well, that's weird because I feel like we went after 2011. And
yeah, because you guys have been graduated from high school by then, right? So did you go with the twins that time when they broke in?
Yeah. We drove there and then we were passing like all the mansions.
Yeah.
And it was definitely after 2011, which is weird because that says that they were demolished.
Maybe it was just most of them, and maybe they finished the rest of them, because we were looking everywhere for these houses, you guys, because we just assumed they were still there because the twins had said they hadn't been there that long ago. If you don't know who the twins are, the twins, Brittany and Taylor, are two of our best friends. I've collabed with them before, and they live here in Long Island with Andrew. So they were kind of the ones who like showed us around Pilgrim State, and we really want to go back and do like a full exploration video, but we do. We really do. Look at him. He really wants to go. So in terms of our experience at Pilgrim State, once again, the full exploration vlog is on my second channel, but we had a really strange time. I mean, the entire time, I don't even want to sound cliche because I was not scared at all going. In fact, you know that I experienced so much paranormal stuff that when I get a break from my own paranormal things and I can experience something else that's scary, that has nothing to do with me, I love it.
I kept on telling you, like, okay, Chloe, like, we went far enough. And she kept on saying, like, no, let's keep going. Like,
I wanted to go into the building and no one else went. Well, Taylor would have gone with me. You and Brittany were chicken.
We did.
Chicken.
Go in the building.
We really did go in the building. We didn't go into the main part of the building though, so we kind of like snuck into various towers. There was one little place where it was just one standalone room and there was nothing in there. It didn't connect into anything else. And then there were other just like towers that were just kind of like standing that, you know, whatever. It was a huge, huge building.
It looked like the movie set for a scary movie. Like,
it really did.
It was set up perfectly for a scary movie. I know, like, a lot of times you see scary places and they're not that scary, but this place looks like it was used, abused, and just bad things have happened.
It doesn't even look real when you walk up to it. There's so much graffiti, and clearly people have like vandalized the place so much at this point.
And the ground is wet and has puddles, and like from the ceiling inside, there's just drips, and all you hear is like the drips of the water.
Oh, not just drips though. When Taylor was in one of the towers, okay, so it was at the exact same time you and I heard a growling noise. We were outside of the tower where Taylor was, and I don't know if you can hear it in the vlog, but I say, did you hear that, to Andrew? And he said, yeah, and I said, it sounded like a growling, right?
Now, yeah, here's the thing. I know when you do a lot of scary things with your friends, you make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, what was that? When you both know, like, it was like a train or like a truck. This was literally something like we've never heard before, and it was in a tone that like I've never heard. It wasn't just like a truck or anything, and it was very close by. Like, it sounded like a small, close by noise.
But it didn't sound like an animal. It sounded like a literal growl right in our ear. And you and I looked at each other, and I immediately asked if you'd heard it. You said yes. Right then, Taylor walks out with my phone. I hope she was still recording. And she said, I heard something. And I was like, oh, the growl, we heard it too. And she said, no, I heard something rippling in the water. She heard something moving in the water near her feet in one of the towers.
Taylor? Yes. Oh god, I thought we lost you. Is it still vlogging? Definitely heard something and
Oh my god, we heard it too.
I gotta go.
We literally heard it too. Was it that growling sound?
I don't know.
It was like...
We just heard like a growling noise from out here. Stop. I hate this. I literally hate this.
They would know how significant that is if they knew the twins personally. Because the twins,
They're unshakable.
they're literally unshakable. And like, they never...
Get
like,
scared over anything.
We
They
can't
never
even
get
film.
scared.
We can't even film reaction videos on my channel because they don't react to anything.
Yeah.
And she came running out because the water rippled. Like,
there was something in there. The other thing was we kept feeling like we were being watched the entire time. And like I said, I wasn't really scared. Like, I was not genuinely afraid. I was so interested and so into it. And I've always wanted to explore things like this. And I know you think I'm like crazy out of my mind, but like,
yes.
I think this kind of stuff is so interesting. I just kept feeling so unsettled, like someone was watching us, and I kept looking up at the windows, and like they're all broken and shattered in random places, so I just kept expecting to see somebody up there. And at one point I thought I did, but I think it had to be like my mind playing tricks on me. But we were walking away, I think, and like walking up, I know, I hate this. I literally heard a woman, like, it was like a yelp.
It was like a yelp. It was like an almost scream. It was almost like she went to yell and someone like
threw their hand. That's exactly what I thought it was. It was like muffled. Like, it didn't sound whole. It was like a yelp.
Literally,
and then I hate it so much. I hate this. And I heard it and I turned around and I was like, God, I hope I caught it on the vlog. I was like, guys, and we just started like running and we left. That was the last, oh, that wasn't the last thing, because the lights. When we were about to leave, I was the last one getting into the car because I was taking some last minute photos and stuff of the building. And when we were getting into the car, I said, guys, I see a light. And Andrew was like, are you sure it's not just one of the headlights from the cars? And I was like, no, I see a light on in the building. It looked like someone had like a little like flashlight or something like pointing at me, or like if you held up your phone and you could see the light from that. So I saw the light and I was kind of like, okay, that's really weird. And I just stared at it for a minute and I kept hoping it was like something playing like tricks on my mind, because all of the functioning buildings are too far away for you to like see a light through one of those, like reflecting through the abandoned building that we were at. I was looking at this light, and after like maybe, I would say like 30-ish seconds of me just standing there with like my mouth open, like freaking out, the light moved like forward. There was a second light out of nowhere right under it, and then they both went out. Like at that. And I literally looked in the car and no one believed me. No, I don't even know. Did you guys not believe me, or did you just not want to get out and see it?
I did, but so many haunted things have happened at these mental hospitals that like I wanted to just leave. It was getting dark out. I wanted to leave.
Well, like they are heavily haunted, of course. I haven't really read a lot of other people's stories, and if I go back and if I do a full walkthrough, I'll make sure to do another video on that. But actually the twins were telling you, and you probably know this story better than I do, about how their dad actually used to go and play in that abandoned hospital.
And obviously when he was younger, like many years ago, no shade.
No shade, no tea, old man.
It was before they did a lot of like the extra like cleaning out and got a lot of like the illegal stuff out. I remember the twins were telling us at one point their dad went in the basement of one of the buildings and he found a whole wall, and it was just like shelves of jars, and each jar had like body parts in it.
That's, can you imagine being him?
I would have been home. Like,
I don't even know what I would do with myself. That building is apparently gone now. And then the twins were saying that when you guys broke into one of the houses, they found old medical records.
Yeah, and not only that, but there was like this one that was like a long hallway with like all cages in it. And then at the end was like a bathroom.
Wait, was this in the house or was this back in the building?
This is in another building.
Oh, wait, so is this one of the asylum buildings?
Yes.
Oh my god, I was talking about the houses. Like the houses that have been bulldozed down that they've been stuck into with all the records. So back in like one of the old buildings, but apparently this one is gone?
Yeah, back in one of the old buildings. It was like kind of just like a long building with all cages. And at the end there was like kind of like a bathroom like meant for like everybody. And from the top there were just like handcuffs hanging. Like from the bathroom. Like,
God.
Like just like handcuffs. Like they used to like strap them in and do whatever in there.
Andrew has an interesting conspiracy theory about Pilgrim State.
The reason why I didn't want to go in any of the buildings is because clearly they used to run illegal experiments here. Like that's known, that's why it was shut down. And so my thing is, it's probably still owned by the government. Like the government probably still has some sort of attachment to this place. So people like us who go in exploring, God knows, like they could literally trap you in there and then all of a sudden you're part of the government's experiments. Like they still need to run experiments. Obviously they were doing illegal stuff back then. Why wouldn't they still be doing illegal stuff?
Literally we were talking about how like I kept envisioning us like winding up back there. Like, okay, so we turned on Andrew's GPS after we tried to find the doctor's houses with all of the old medical records and stuff. I'm still so jealous that you guys saw that, by the way. I would have like died if I had seen stuff like that. There are so many crazy photos online of people finding like old stretchers and like these crazy like electroshock like therapy chairs and stuff like that. Like,
well, a lot of the torture methods were methods that they used to use in like the Dark Ages in the medieval times. They still used a lot of those torture methods.
Did you hear that sound a second ago?
Yes, I don't want to talk about it.
I promise you, like, not for the video. I really did hear something move. Okay, let's just get through the video then. Okay.
Okay.
I thought my camera stopped recording. Like, I thought that's what it was. I thought, like, my lens went back in or something.
Right.
Okay, sorry. Yep, let's keep talking.
A lot of those torture methods from the medieval times are very illegal and they're very inhumane. So clearly they were doing this. It was very illegal. It shouldn't have been happening. And I wanted no part of it. That's why I wanted us to leave.
I know. It's really, really, really scary. The next time we go back, we're gonna try to convince like a police officer friend to go with us or something because I'm terrified.
Yes.
I'm so scared. It was really fun, but even with like maybe the hour that we were there, just the things that I experienced and the noises that I heard and this feeling that I felt like dread in like the pit of my stomach, like terror. You can tell just by looking at that building that such awful things happen there. There are still patients in the functioning parts of Pilgrim State. Actually, something I want to talk about is one of the articles I was reading back in like 2009. Somebody like purchased acres, like hundreds of acres of that land in hopes of starting a mini Manhattan and building on top of it and bulldozing those like buildings and stuff like that and literally making shops and apartments. That has not happened, thank God. I feel like that is the worst idea I've ever heard of in my entire life. Like, to literally take something where such awful things happen and like try to make it a shopping mall. I just feel like that's really bad. But there are still buildings that are up and functioning, and a lot of the patients at Pilgrim State were let free, right? Like they were just turned out to the public.
Yeah, they were just turned to the public because they had nothing else to do with them.
Yeah. Because this was the biggest mental hospital in like all of New York, and I think at one point in time it was the biggest hospital of any type. So like not even just mental hospitals, it was the biggest hospital that existed at the time. When they wound up closing their doors and all the doctors went to jail for the awful things that they did, and you know, probably some didn't, but like the patients were just let go. But there are still standing buildings where some patients are there.
Something I found interesting is a lot of times when the patients used to try to escape and still like present day try to escape, there is this whole entire map of underground tunnels underneath the campus that all the workers know like the back of their hand. But what I don't understand is how the patients know about these tunnels and how they know. I mean, they obviously don't know how to navigate them as well as the workers because they usually get caught. Yeah. But how do they even get into these tunnels from where they are? I don't know. I just think it's insane that you're driving on this campus and you know that underneath there are all these tunnels with, I'm sure there are rooms down there and like God knows what goes on down there. And like all of the doctors used to travel via that tunnel system, and like they go everywhere. Like I think that they lead off campus. Like there are some maps, but we obviously don't know everything. And actually there's a little bit in the vlog where we were talking about the water tower. Now the twins were saying that no one knows what the water tower, like no one knows what that tower was used for. I
it doesn't look like a water tower to me. It's just like this massive like tower. Like it's just this massive tower. So I don't know if it's the same thing, but supposedly there are just hundreds and maybe even thousands of unmarked graves back there where they just dumped their patients.
Chloe, I'm sorry, like I don't even want to, but like I heard a noise. I'm not even That's why I just
During?
Yeah, I heard a noise like over here.
Are you joking?
I swear to God.
Wait, you seriously heard something?
Yeah, it sounded like my phone was intensely vibrating, like more than an iPhone.
Stop! Why is it so bright? What happened?
No, that really freaked me out. That's why I got silent.
Okay.
And like nothing. Like
Sorry guys, my camera is doing some really weird stuff as this isn't like, I feel like okay, so you can officially like say to the people that the kind of stuff that happens while I film isn't fake, right?
It definitely-
Because literally my camera keeps messing up, the exposure keeps going up and down. Andrew's phone just vibrated, but like it wasn't vibrating and
wasn't
nothing
my phone.
happened.
It wasn't
We
my
heard something move on this side of the room.
like as her friend, I always make fun of her, like for her videos and like for all the stuff that happens in her videos. I literally always make fun of her. But just sitting here filming, like there really was noise over there. And then in the last clip, I kind of just got like, because I heard a noise, but I didn't want to make it seem like I was doing it for the camera. So I told her off camera, but like there was really a noise and it sounded like my phone was intensely vibrating, but like it wasn't.
This really, like this kind of stuff genuinely does happen when I film. I'm sorry that I made you go to an insane asylum with me. Thank you for going with me. We had a lot of fun exploring and now we're gonna go back. If you guys can get this video to 10,000 likes, you will go back. You won't go back?
I will.
Really? You promise?
Yeah.
Wait, don't.
Oh no,
don't.
are you gonna
I
put this
sneezed in that hand. I sneezed in this hand, I didn't sneeze in that hand. Like air pinky, ready? Air pinky, okay. All right, if you guys can get it there, we'll go back.
We'll do a 24-hour challenge.
No! Oh my God, I could never. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just thought the history of this place was really interesting. I know this was more of a casual video, but I just wanted to talk about my experiences there and just show some of the footage. Again, the full video will be on my second channel down below. Thank you guys for watching. Go check out my best friend Andrew's channel. I love him so very much. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, give it a thumbs up. Of course, try to get it to 10,000 likes. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you all so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.